Hey, what's like that good, bro? Oh, just look at, you ain't subscribed yet? Man, look at this guy, man. You ain't right, man. Press the button. Press the button.
You know how many nations are on this planet? 18 nations on the planet. But God said, I'm going to choose the so-called black. Mostly speaking, what he's about to say, it pertains to the children of Israel. And who are the children of Israel? When you look at the condition of black people, do we feel special? So even though the so-called blacks are in the ghetto, God says we're above all people. Single parent household, God says we're above all people. We kill each other. God says we're above all people. Byron, right? So what are y'all thoughts so far? Soaking it in. What about you, Mr. B? So what is it? What is it that we must do?
I didn't know it was in the Bible.
You didn't know what was in the Bible. All that he was speaking. What about you, bro?
I didn't know that.
So you said that you learned about the Israelites, right? You learned about what we got to do, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So what is it that we got to do now?
Follow the commandments.
Follow the commandments. What do you say?
Follow the commandments.
Okay. Give me finish reading what you just had. Finish reading what you just had. So what are some of the commandments that we have to keep?
Not sin.
Not sin. What is sin? What is sin?
Sin is transgression against God.
You said transgression against God. What about you? You say the same thing? Okay, get 1 John real quick. 1 John. So you said sin is the transgression against God. A lot of times when people think that sin is just anything bad, right? So name me some things that would be considered a sin against God.
Killing somebody.
Killing somebody. What else?
Adultery.
Working. Did you know that was a sin? That was a sin? These are things that we don't know. Go hold this real quick. Go to Hebrews chapter 5, verse 12. Because a lot of us believe that we know the Bible. A lot of us believe that we know God. Prior to today, did you believe you knew God? Or you had some type of relationship with God? Or you have some knowledge of God? What about you, Mr. B? You went to church growing up? A lot of our people went to church growing up, especially the older folks. They went to church. A lot of the younger folk, they don't go to church. Why don't they go to church? Because they don't see themselves in the Bible. They don't see any solutions from the church. They don't see any fruits from it. Just like you look at any activist group, right? When you see good things coming from it, you flock to it. But has the church shown us any good things? When you look at the church as a whole, what good things has it brought to the black community? Nothing. You say no. What, Mr. B? What do you say? Not saying they don't bring anything, but what has the black church brought? The Baptist church, the Christian church, the Pentecostal church, the Seventh-day Adventist church. What have they brought to the black community that's going to benefit us? That's going to stop us from shooting each other, stop us from murdering each other. They try to tell us what?
Not to be doing wrong to each other.
They tell us that, but what else do they teach us that's going to help us? They say don't do wrong to each other, but in the same sentence, they don't tell you what you're supposed to do according to God. Go to, read this verse, read that verse.
Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 12. But when for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again.
So a lot of us have to understand that we have to be taught the Bible all over again. So if I asked you what color is Christ, what would you say? What would you say? What would you say? How do you know Christ is black? You should assume he's black. So our people don't even know that Christ actually is black. We assume it is. It feels good. It feels good to say we're pro-black, right? That's always a good feeling. But when we ask people, why do you believe that Christ is black? They don't even know. But it sounds good. It feels good. It makes them feel good, right? So how do we know that Christ is black?
In that part of the country, the dark-skinned people.
That's common sense. But how do we know in the Bible? Is there anywhere in the Bible that tells us that Christ is black?
Yeah.
You say the wool hair. What about you? The brass feet. What else? So is there? We established so far that we kind of know that Christ is black. We're gonna read it in a second. But is there anybody else in the Bible that is black? What about Moses? What about, name me some people in the Bible, some major characters in the Bible. Say God. Okay, God. Is God. What does God look like? A puff of smoke? What's he? Does he have a body? Does he look like something? What color is he?
Not color. No color.
You assume that he's black? What other major figures are in the Bible? What about Moses?
I believe Moses is
What about Peter? What about Paul? How do we know what color these people are? What about you heard of Job? What about Job? What color was he? You still holding Hebrews? Read it one more time. So this we gotta pay attention to this right here. How you doing, bro? What's your name? Larry. Read that.
Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 12. But when, for the time ye ought to be teachers, ye have need that one teach you again.
So we must be taught the image of our people again. We must be taught our image in the Bible again. Because the Bible, what's the significance of the Bible?
the teacher.
To teach us.
The way of
To black people, what is the significance of the Bible? Is it a history book? Is it a book of religion? What is it?
It's a history book.
Of who? Just like you go to school, right? You got American history. That's history of who? African history. What's that the history of? Of Africans, right? So the Bible, we say it's a history book, right? So who is it the history of? Of us. What do you say, Larry? You say everybody? So I can find everybody in this book. You believe in the Bible? So can I find the history of everybody in this book? What do you say? You should be able to. Can I find a history of my people in this book? You say yes? I'm going to give you an example. Go to Jeremiah 14:2. Stick around, listen to this. Jeremiah 14:2. So we talked about color in the Bible, right? So do you believe that everybody in the Bible looks like Caucasian people? You say no? When you read the Bible, when you go to church, right? You'll see in the different churches, you see the stained glass windows, and you see Caucasian people, right? Is that what the people look like in the Bible? If I'm reading this and it's a history book, right? I should be able to go in there and see, and I should be able to see that these pictures match up with this history, right? If I look at these images right here, I see black people, right? This history matches up with these people, right? So that same thing should go with the Bible, right? So let's find out. Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth.
So it said Judah mourneth. Who's Judah? Judah is the so-called African Americans.
What?
Black people, right? Read it.
And the gates thereof labor. They are black.
They are what?
They are black.
They are what?
They are black.
The Bible says Judah is what?
Black.
They are black. You ever read that before? You ever heard that before? That Judah is black? You never heard that in your life. What about you, sis? How you doing? You never heard that before? What about you, Mr. B? Never heard that. Never heard it, right? That's exactly why we must come out and teach our people their true history. That's why the Bible says you must be taught again. Why? Because we've never seen the black image inside of the Bible. We've never seen that. You understand? We must learn it again. Let's find something. Go to Job chapter 30. Job chapter 30. So there's many instances where you see color in the Bible. So when you go to church, they don't teach you that, do they? Why not? Why not?
I want you to know.
Why would you say they don't teach us color in church? Teach us that we're in the Bible in church. So the same pastor, the same African American pastor, is not teaching you these things. Why isn't he teaching you those things? You got to think about it. Why is he not teaching me these things? Let's read another one.
Book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 30. My skin is black upon.
Read it again.
My skin.
What are we talking about?
My skin.
What are we talking about, Larry? Skin, right? An appearance, right? Read.
Is black.
It's what?
Is black.
Is what?
Is black.
Who are we talking about? This is Job. He said, my skin is black. Ever heard that? Never heard it. Read on.
Upon me.
Upon me. Is your skin black upon you, Larry? Mr. B, is your skin black upon you? Sis, your skin is black upon you? So don't we relate with this? Don't we relate with the Bible? So we see our color, we see our image in the Bible. Go to Hosea chapter 3. So these things are very, very important for us to see. Because you look at the black community, do we have high self-esteem?
No.
As a people?
No.
No. How do we not have high self-esteem? You see it in our music. You see it in the way that we dress. Our women have blonde hair. They have red hair. They have weave in their hair. Right? We don't have high self-esteem. We envy the other people. We envy other nations. Right? That's the problem. And why is that? Because we've been taught wrong. We've been taught the Bible wrong. We've been taught our image the wrong way. Read that.
Hosea chapter 3 and verse 4. For the children of Israel.
Who's the children of Israel? Do y'all know? Who's the children of Israel? You say we are? What about you, Larry? Are you sure? Are you repeating what Mr. B said? You're not sure. What about you? Sis, what's your name? What is it? Joyce. Who is the children of Israel? You say you are? How do you know that? See, I don't want y'all to say it. I don't want y'all to say it just to say it. I want y'all to know for sure that we are the children of Israel. Because when we read these things, we don't read them just for no reason. We want y'all to hear it and be able to relate that when it says the children of Israel, it's talking about me. That's what we want to. That's what we want to see. Is that you guys can relate to what the Bible is actually saying. So the children of Israel is the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Let's read it again.
For the children of Israel
Children of Israel
shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image.
and without what?
An image.
Without what?
An image.
We've inside many days without an image. We have no image. What's the image of the so-called black community? Megan Thee Stallion, Usher. Who else we got out there? Suki Han. I don't know who the hell that is. Huh? You see, said Cardi B. Ice Spice. Sexy Red. These are the images of the black community. Do you think those are good things for us? Our children want to be like the entertainers. We reside many days without an image, and it's affecting our people. Our self-esteem is low. The only thing our people attain to be are rappers, drug dealers, hoes, strippers. Everybody may not want to do that. Mr. B, you may not want to do that. Larry, you may not want to do that. But a lot of our children and youth growing up, they don't see any other way because it sounds good, right? So what must we do to change that narrative? Be taught again. We must be taught who we are again.
That's right.
That's what we must do. Go to Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 4. We're going to wrap it up after that. Jeremiah 17 and 4. Because our heritage as a people, who we are as a people, we've lost that.
Right.
But we're out here today to teach our people who you are. We're to teach you that you're the children of Israel. We're teaching you that we're better than rappers. We're better than singers. We're better than drug dealers. We're better than that. Read.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I have gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies.
So what happened to our people? This happened to our people. We served other people. We served other nations. We discontinued from our heritage. The heritage God gave us. The heritage God gave us for our women to have woolly hair in their head. The heritage God gave us for our women to take care of their children. For the men and women to get married.
Bring it out.
This is the heritage that God gave us to keep his commandments. That's the heritage God gave us. But we discontinued from it because we broke God's commandments. So the simple way to get back is to keep God's commandments. To learn who we are. You're the children of Israel. You're the children of Israel. You're the children of Israel. That's what we have to come back to. Go to Romans chapter 7, Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. We must come back to this right here. We must restore the self-esteem of our people.
Right.
Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So do y'all know who's being talked about right here? Go to 1 and 1 real quick. 1 and 1. You said about us? Who is Moses speaking to? Do y'all know? Okay, let's read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Unto all who?
All Israel.
Unto all the world.
All Israel.
Unto the white man.
Unto all Israel.
Chinese man.
Unto all Israel.
The reason why I got to keep reading is because we think that the Bible pertains to everybody. We think that God is for everybody. So we're about to read, we got to be able to see that it does not pertain to everybody.
Right.
Read that.
76.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
So when it says for thou, who is it talking about? What did the Bible say? It said to, what did it say? What did it say? It said to Israel. You see the sign? The 12 tribes of Israel. That's who it's talking about. So when Moses is speaking, what he's about to say, it pertains to the children of Israel. And who are the children of Israel? We are the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read that again.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So the Bible says that the so-called blacks, so-called African Americans are holy to God. What is holy? They're set apart. They're different than everybody else.
That's right.
Are we different than everybody else? When you look at us, we're faster, we're stronger, we're smarter, every other nation. Why? Because God said it.
That's
Read.
right.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
God said he chose us. You know how many nations are on this planet? 18 nations on the planet. But God said, I'm going to choose the so-called blacks. Even though we look like we're trodden down, we in the ghettos, God said, I still chose you above everybody else.
That's right.
Read on.
To be a special people.
That didn't say what it said. Read it again.
To be a special.
Do y'all feel special? Y'all don't see, sister says she don't feel special. You feel special? When you look at the condition of black people, do we feel special? Not at all. Not at all, but we got to remember what God said. Read that.
To be a special people unto himself.
God says that the children of Israel, all these people you see on this sign, the ones that's in the ghettos, the ones that's killing each other, the ones that's selling drugs to each other, the one that's making music about their things being brown, we are the special people. Even though we're in foolishness right now, God said we're special. We're special. We've always been special. Read.
Above all people.
What did that just say? Read it again.
Above all people.
Now, do you ever hear that in church?
Bring it out.
Do you ever hear in church that the so-called blacks are above everybody on this planet?
That's right.
You never heard that, right? Never heard it. Why don't they teach it? Because they don't want you to know that you're above all people. It's read it. Call and read it again.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6.
Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. For all those that's listening, read it again.
For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
So God says the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are holy unto him.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee.
So God chose the so-called blacks to be special to him.
To be a special people unto himself. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So even though the so-called blacks are in the ghetto, God says we're above all people. Even though we're single-parent households, God says we're above all people. Even though we sell drugs, we kill each other, God says we're above all people.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is